We're going to have a look at our reclining twist pose, our supine twist. Now, I teach it in a very particular way, and this one is definitely courtesy of Bernie Clark, so thanks very much, Bernie. But he explained there's a definite difference between coming from a twist from the top or coming from a twist from the bottom. And the majority of our twists when we're doing them in our practice is coming from the top down. And so by top down, I'm saying that you're twisting the top and the bottom is staying stationary. Now, when we're coming into our twist from our back, we keep our top stationary, our shoulders, and we move our knee across. We're actually twisting from the bottom. It's the only twist we realistically do that, and all the rest of it, we twist from our torso. And the reason why it's more natural to twist from the top down is because that's how vertebrae are actually created. And it's got a lot to do with our facet joints. Now, I'll go into this a lot more in one of those other videos when I talk about this. Feel free to make sure that you've watched all the videos in this series. And in that one, I discussed the idea that the thoracic vertebrae are more set up for twisting and the lumbar vertebrae are more set up for extension and flexion. Okay, and if you're not sure, go rewatch one of those videos about the musculoskeletal stuff in the YIN training. And I'll go through it just super quickly, and it's a way of thinking about it. It's the way force is kind of distributed, right? So if our thoracic spine is more set up for twisting and our lumbar spine, which it feels like we twist from, we actually do very little. It all happens from the thoracic, the T12 to the T1, and obviously you can do some in the neck as well, in the cervical spine. Then it's this idea when we do come into the twist, we want to distribute the force, i.e. the twist, from the top down. So we can see here, if I twist from the top, you can see where all that force is immediately distributed into this, and you can start to see all that twist happening at the top. Or if I do this from the bottom, and you can see how much force is immediately distributed into the top. Very, very little, and most of it is going into the bottom. So you're going to get these compression points in your facet joints in your lumbar spine. So for this reason and this reason only, when I come into a twist, I start my students on the side. And you'll have some students that have experienced a lot of pain in their practice when they've been coming into their twists, and then all of a sudden you show them this variation and they're very happy to come into twists from that point onwards. So let's have a look at this. Bolster out to the side, perpendicular to the spine, and then you just come to lie onto your side. So we're just lying straight onto our side body like so. And then we're going to lift that right leg up on top of the bolster. Now you don't have to have that right knee straight. The benefit of having the right knee straight is you can start to get into your iliotibial band, connecting up into your glute max as well. So it's a little bit of a bonus there. But you can just as easily have the knee bent as well. And this is also going to help us avoid a compression point, which you might have on into the inner hip. So you might start to get a little bit of compression of the lesser trochanter or the femur bone pressing into the cup of the acetabulum as well. And you don't really want to be doing that because that's just going to be grinding away in the cup of the acetabulum. It's not going to be good or comfortable for your students over the long term. So leg straight, knee bent, totally up to you. Lying onto your side, hands out into your front of you, and you're just making this little mouth of crocodile like this. Then right hand reaches straight up and high to the sky, and then you're going to allow yourself to come into your twist, coming over. Now, not all your students will be able to get their shoulder down onto the ground, and that's totally okay. So the variation there for them is to use a block or something. Maybe you place a block underneath the shoulder just for support. Maybe you have it underneath your elbow, which would be more comfortable for the majority of your students. Just a little block underneath the elbow like so. Or what you may also notice here as well is that you can't even get that range. So then the other variation would just be placing the hand underneath the head, grabbing the opposite ear, and you're still just kind of relaxing on the side a little bit more. This will help to open out through that side body, so you still get this nice big juicy lateral side body opening as well, which is really, really nice. So it's a sort of a krama, it's a stage for them to move into the next pose then in this way. And this could be their variation, that's all they really need to do and stay there. Otherwise, maybe the arm is straight out to the side. I don't have enough room because the wall's right next to me. But basically, you can have the arm extended straight out to the side like so. And then you get that added benefit of getting into a secondary target area of the pec and the pec minor. And this is going to open out into our pericardium pathway, and then also getting into our lung pathway, so the musculotendinous layer of the lung. And then you'll feel it maybe coming through your bicep, through the center of the arm, all the way through the center of the forearm, and then into the hand as well. So that's going to be your big pericardium pathway. We're going to get the gallbladder going down through the side of the leg into the hip, so the glute max into the iliotibial band. And then we're also going to get this very gentle little opening through the obliques as we're doing this little twist in the side body through here. And so this is going to be the liver pathway, which comes from your inguinal groove. So that's the groin groove, and that's going to make its way up towards your tip of the 11th rib out to the side, then just up underneath the nipple in the 6th intercostal space. So then that's going to be getting into the end of the liver pathway as well. Now coming out and rebounding is just bringing that right arm all the way back over and then just lying on the side and rebounding in this position. It's super comfortable and very relaxing with very minimal movement. Now again, compression points could be in that inner thigh, just in there. So that's why the bolster can be really helpful. Or maybe you can lift it up a little bit more. They might get a compression point at the back of the shoulder, and that's just going to be the humerus bone, so the upper arm bone pressing into the acromion process, which is the tip of the shoulder blade sticking out. And you might just get a little bit of that. So then repositioning the arm maybe a little bit further down, it's going to help them avoid that. And that's going to be your reclining twist pose. I would use that quite a lot in my practice. It's a really good almost reactivation pose or counter pose to pretty much any sequence that we have. And it's a really nice way of just ending the practice in a super yin way on the ground.